Previously on Freshtodeathcomics. That's the only book you care about. That's the only book you want to talk about. You're like, I want to talk about Daredevil. When does that come out?
Yep.
When can we read that? And now the continuation of the Freshtodeathcomics podcast.
Daredevil Day, Daredevil Day, Daredevil Day. It's finally here. I've been waiting for it for months. I'm so excited. Can we just get to it?
No, we will. We are talking about Daredevil, #1, written by Stephanie Phillips. I know you are excited, but there's a lot of other comic books we're going to be talking about, like Touched by a Demon, Bizzaro by Kevin Smith, Wonderman, The Eternals, Superman, and Spider-Man are doing a DC Marvel team up with a whole bunch of guest stars in a brand new series from Image called Royals. Those are a lot of comics to talk about, but before we do, we want to thank everybody who's been donating to the Kickstarter from the car accident. I am doing okay. I'm still one leg in it, but it doesn't hurt as much. So thank you everyone who's been donating. We really, really appreciate it. Like, it's, I don't know, weird to see. Like, I'm not that type of person. So thank you so much. But let's talk about some fun things for you guys. That if you guys are in the upstate New York area, Twin Tiers area, we have some events going on. Fat Cats is doing their Bing Bang comic book con, and they partnered with Above All Comics to bring AJ Abadu from Valiant Comics to us.
Yes, I'm so excited. I'm sad that we're going to have to wait until the end of May. It's going to be on May 31st this year after Free Comic Book Day, but write that down now. It's going to be a great show. It always is. So make sure to check that out.
But speaking of Free Comic Book Day, yes, make sure you stop by your local comic book shops, support them. If you're grabbing free books, maybe pick up something else. Those comics are not free for them. They do pay money for the free comic books. It comes from somewhere, and with inflation, I can't imagine how much the free comic book days are costing the shop. So, show some love, support a local comic book shop, give them money. But also, I guess you can't go to one comic book shop because they closed. Heroes Comic Book Shop is closing their doors because they're doing a Pop Market Comic-Con. They rented out the American Legion in Elmira Heights, and he's opened up shop, and he's having a whole Comic-Con event there. So I guess his store he's expanded it.
He brought the store to the American Legion.
He rented out a store for everybody. So that's going to be a lot of fun. There's a lot of artists that are popping in and out of there.
Yes, it's going to be a 2-day event again this year. It's going to be on May 2nd and 3rd. So definitely make sure to check that out. We've gone there many times. They always have good stuff and good tables and good vendors, good everything.
So without further ado, let's talk about comics. Which one should we start with? Let's see. Let's talk about Touched by a Demon.
I mean, I want to talk about that one also, but come on, man.
Okay, you've been waiting forever. So.
I'm exploding. Stephanie Phillips, Daredevil. Stephanie Phillips' Daredevil is finally available. She's been talking about this on her TikTok. I'm so excited to see her take on Matt Murdock. It is putting Matt Murdock in a different situation than he's been in before. Matt Murdock, law professor. He is teaching law at Empire State University, which I'm sure you've heard once or twice, being part of the SUNY system in upstate New York, Empire College being more of a college for online classes and furthering education. I love the fact that Matt Murdock is a professor. Also knowing more about Stephanie Phillips. She also spent some time as a professor, so she's got a little experience, and she's giving that side to Matt Murdock now, which is very cool to see him in a classroom environment and engaging with students. Yes, Stephanie and Lee Coble actually came together as a package deal and came up to Marvel with this idea. So they wanted to team up and do this together. I think this is great. Looking at some of the art, it's a little grisly. It's kind of fun. That's why I like Stephanie Phillips, is because I feel like we're like those like kind of twisted, messed up people, but we like still like a good story, but we like it a little gory.
You have been gushing over Stephanie Phillips. We met Stephanie Phillips, and she gave you her email and said, message me, and you have been so afraid to because you were like, Stephanie Phillips is.
But like, what am I gonna say?
Wait, I just recently watched this movie called The Wayne's Worlds. And they have this scene where they go, "We're not worthy. We're not." That's how
Thank
you
God
are with
you
Stephanie
finally have
Phillips.
seen this movie, because I have been feeling that. I felt that way as we were meeting her, and I wanted to do this, but you would not have gotten the reference at that point.
I wouldn't have. I would have been like, "Why are you bowing down before Stephanie Phillips?"
I'm not worthy. I'm not worthy. But like, also, what am I going to talk to Stephanie Phillips about besides me just gushing like I am now? So, yes, Matt Murdock is in the classroom. There's also there's some more crimes coming up and popping up. We got somebody who's stealing eyeballs and killing people.
So, Eyeball Man, very cool. I like his staff.
Yes.
Like, he kind of reminds me of like a tall Jawa from like Star Wars. So now I feel like this is like this crossover with Star Wars universe, and this Jawa has appeared in our universe, and he's like, eyes! I must collect enough eyes, and then I can see my own reality.
I know, right? Yeah, I don't know where the eyes are leading to, but I'm all eyes for reading this comic.
So I love Daredevil. I have, as someone who has now become Daredevil, being able to hear everything Daredevil hears, it was kind of funny to read the scenes going, yep, I know exactly what's happening there. That's exactly how it is. You hear what's happening right down the street.
Yes. I also really love that frame where she was or where they were hearing Matt, and you actually saw like the sound effects and the lettering. Again, I imagine that's what every day is like for you.
Correct. And then he's like, there are no laptops allowed in the class. And I can't. I hope she touches on this a little bit more, but I can understand that because it's the clacky. And as somebody, I mean, I'm sure as a professor, it's annoying, but someone with a sound issue, like a hypercollosis, it's called. I don't know how to pronounce that.
I don't remember what it is.
Anyone with a hearing brain injury, such as Matt with his injury, everything's enhanced. So as he's teaching something he's not used to doing, all he's hearing is the clickety clack of the keyboards. Like, I can't imagine trying to keep a rhythmic going, hearing clickety clack every time you're talking.
But I was really more that girl.
Clickety clack.
Clickety clack. I was more that girl in school who was like, I have to type so I can process my thoughts faster, because like trying to write everything down was too much. Like I couldn't do it. So love that the girl spoke up. Love that, not everybody learns the same way. And I definitely was one of those people that doesn't really learn best in just a lecture hall, but
I don't know how I feel because I was not any of those students. Like,
I know.
I'm dyslexic, so I got for the test a little bit. I got to go to a separate room, which is even more anxiety because like you read the questions and you're like, am I reading the question right or am I messing it up? Like you get more in your head because you're like, how much time do I have? Because they're like, we give you, let's say they give you like 10 minutes. We'll give you a half hour. And you're like, well, if they're giving me that much half hour because of my disability, I got to figure out how many minutes per second for a question. And so I'd get really nervous if I was like on a question for more than a minute. And I was like, no, I can't. I can't. I've wasted too much time on this question. I don't know why I did that to myself. But when it came to the classroom portion, I had a notebook for doodling. That's what I use. Like, if you take a look at my notebooks, I wonder if I have any. You'll see some notes like generic notes like whatever it's supposed to be, and then in the corner you'll see some kind of drawing of a Pokemon or
Don't break a law. Don't break a contract. Pikachu. Wonder why.
but like I understood it. I didn't need like I just got really bored. Like if the information was in the book, why did I need to read that before class? So there became a time as I got through college where I refused to buy the book because you just were going to tell me it in class. So once you tell me in class, I got it. I don't need the book. So
You were everything I hated in school.
so by my junior year, I stopped buying textbooks and I was like, not buying any textbooks here. And then they'd have that assignment because I guess a lot of kids started doing this because book sales were down for this teacher. And he was like, we're going to have a homework assignment from the book this week. It's going to be on page this one. You have to answer this question. And I need it to be a page response or something like that. So then I was like, oh no. And all of a sudden I see a friend with the book and be like, yo, you want to study together?
And only this time, never again.
No, I always studied for study group, but like they never asked me to come again because I would always have fun and make it like, oh, we're sitting here. Guys, wouldn't it be fun if we went outside and played soccer and like every time we score a goal, we would like learn what torts was or learn what business law was? Like we were at a place in Oswego called the Fish Lounge. Like that's what I called it, the Fish Lounge, because there was a big fish bowl, and we would sit there and watch everybody. And Hans would study there, and I would watch people, and Hans would be like, "When do you ever study?" He goes, "You watch people more than you look at books."
Yes. God, I hated you. I was who's it was hard for me to pay attention and retain everything. So the fact that you were like, la, 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 ace this test, and I'm like, I would study and like do half as well.
The worst was when the paper. So this one class, this politics class, we had to write like a news article or our own kind of thought about politics every week, like a journal entry.
Mm.
And I didn't do it all semester and was like, oh, okay, I'm going to write them all right now. So I was like
a
looking.
whole semester of work in like one night.
In one night. And I didn't sleep. And like I had Facebook posts going to keep me going. I was like, one paper down, 5 to go. Or however many it was.
You were using Facebook to keep you accountable.
Yes. So like I was like going through, so you'll see in the end of May when it comes up on my Facebook feed, I will share it to our Facebook group. These like this many papers down, this many to go, and you'll realize like, oh man, he was just not doing any work
all semester.
Like I went to class and I just hung out. Like I just saw my friends and we just talked about what we were gonna do that weekend.
That's what college was.
College was about hanging out with people and having fun. And then the classroom taught you like the other stuff.
What is the other stuff?
You know, like how to get an FCC license and how to speak good.
Oh,
and
so maybe you could have taken more. Maybe you should have paid more attention.
No, listen, my public speaker teacher and me had a fight because I like to ad-lib a lot of my speeches.
No, really, mister. Write down exactly what I'm saying, and then I'm never going to read it exactly how I wanted you to write it down.
I got bored during my speeches. Like, that's one thing I don't want to be a stand-up comic, because once I tell a joke, why would I tell the same joke again? I already heard it.
You already heard it?
I already heard it. So, like, telling the same story, like, once I've told a story, like 5 times, I'm like, I'm done with this story. I'm bored. So I can't see myself going on tour talking about, yo, there was this one time I was crossing the road and I didn't know what the crosswalks mean. And all of a sudden I'm playing Frogger in between Buffalo traffic. How many times can I tell that story? And I'm like,
as many times as you can get paid for it.
I got bored. So like in public speaking, like I would have my first draft, I had it out. And then as I was speaking, I was like, nah, this is boring. I'm going to say this to make it exciting. And then like I would have in my speech, ad lib, make up Jedi name.
That was your note.
That was my note.
Oh my God.
Was Jedi name. And I was like, I'm going to riff about that for a little bit. Like, that's just how college was for me. And high school was the same way, though. I gave a speech about Moby Dick and how it related to Star Wars Episode 3. So anyway, Matt Murdock is a teacher, and I don't understand why he is teaching, like,
contract
law, because I looked it up. I did some Googling because I got upset because I've gotten to know a few lawyers now throughout my life.
Yeah.
Certain lawyers don't do certain things.
Correct.
And apparently they all know contract law. Like everybody does contract law, so it's kind of something they all dabble in.
Yeah.
But like, from my understanding, and this is from the Chat GPTs, so take that as you will. According to them, lawyers can teach contract law because contracts are required with all law. So, law. But
lawyered.
Boom. So, that part kind of bothers me. I like that I can jump in. Like I said, I love Daredevil, but because of the brain injury, it took me a while to read, so I left during the Chip Zdarsky run.
Mm-hmm.
And then he made Elektra a Daredevil while he was in jail, and I started getting further apart from it. And then all of a sudden, he marries Elektra, and he's fighting the Punisher. It went off I just couldn't jump back. And then Aaron Cooter jumped on, and I was just like kind of reading for the jokes.
Yeah.
Oh, it's Pat. Hi, Pat. So Aaron Cooter. So I didn't read a lot of the Aaron Cooters because that's when everything was happening with Katie. So I missed that. I needed to go back and read it. So I was very nervous about jumping in and going, what do I need to know? A lot has happened.
Yeah.
You can just jump in.
You can just jump in. Although I do want to address the one they said that, in the beginning they were like, oh, you've done so much, Matt Murdock. Why are you coming into teaching? You've had all this experience, and mentioned he was the former mayor.
Yeah, he was mayor. That happened. Yeah, like I said, Matt Murdock at this point, and this is my problem with Spider-Man, I guess, as well, is, all right, guys, Pat is here, and she made me this for Christmas, and I can't wait to see it. This is the first time you guys and me are going to see it at the same time. This part's staying.
Oh my God, that looks amazing.
It's a little table, and it's got my JDF picture and his autograph. So I missed the Aaron Cooter run, so I was really sad. So it's nice that I can just jump on and read this as a new thing, even though we're also getting a brand new villain character with we don't know
we don't know what his name is, but he is on the hunt for Matt Murdock.
Okay, Stephanie, I don't know if you've named him yet because I refuse to watch your TikToks because I want it. When I go into a book, I don't want to know what you're thinking. I want your work to speak for itself. And if what you're if I go back and watch your videos and go, oh, wow, I got it. This is what you were trying to say. This is awesome. Cool. But if I can't get that correlation based on this, I shouldn't have to watch your TikToks to be explained the book.
Yeah.
So that's how I judge it. So I'm going back now and watching the TikToks. That's how I knew, she went to France because I guess Lee's from France. So she hopped on a plane to go visit France to work on this book together. So that's kind of awesome.
Yeah, really.
So yeah, I am now going on a Stephanie Phillips journey of what Daredevil was. And I think I just got to where she was like, I used to be a professor in the school. And I was like, that's cool. So yeah, Daredevil is out. So I guess that's my only problem is why is he teaching contract law and not criminal law? Because like he is a criminal defense lawyer. Like you would think like high profile, like, but I don't know enough. I forgot to text my friends who are in law school and be like, yo, what would be like a law class that like you would want to sign up for? Like any lawyer. Is that a thing? Like, how does law school work?
Yes.
Because I don't know. Like, I was told I couldn't go to law school, so I didn't.
By whom?
My guidance counselor. I was like, I want to go to law school. I want to be a lawyer. And she looked at me. She goes, no, I don't think that's the job for you. And I said, but I want to be a lawyer. I like to do things. And she goes, let's think about something else you like to do.
Well, I'm pretty sure that you have to be on track to get into school.
Yeah, apparently I had to start as a freshman and talk to all these
Yeah.
colleges about like pre-law. Like you can't just go to law school, you have to go to pre-law school.
Yep.
And before pre-law school, you had to go to like regular school.
Cool.
So like I guess I didn't do any information. I just watched a lot of Perry Mason and said,
Yeah.
I'm going to walk to the courtroom and go, Your Honor, he is guilty for the reasons of tire marks. You see, his...
Wait. So your basis of law was from Perry Mason and My Cousin Vinny?
Yeah. And the Christian Left Behind series, where they arrest the Christian for being a Christian, and she is now being tried for the sins of Jesus.
What branch of law would that be?
Well, she was considered a terrorist because she's a Christian, and Christianity is terrorism in this end of the world.
Well, the way that
Revelation
we're
world.
going, it definitely is.
So I don't know a lot about law school.
No,
Like,
that's kind of obvious.
so that's why I went for radio, because I learned everything about radio and television.
Get that done in 4 years.
And then I can make my own lawyer TV show where it does the law I want. And he can say, Your Honor, he is innocent because of tire marks.
That's it.
That's what I want. So, guys, we have a very special guest here. This is Robin. It was his birthday yesterday. And he is here, and now
13 years old now.
he is now legally allowed to be on YouTube. So he's going to start his own YouTube channel. It can legally do that now.
Yes, he can.
So,
So I guess I should say there's other books that have come out this week. What are they?
So I'm looking through the books, and like I said, I don't like to do any pre-advanced work because I don't want to be biased. So when I'm looking through books, I'm trying to decide like what's cool. So like covers really get me. If you have a good cover, if I talk about your book, like if I don't talk about your book, your cover didn't get me. You got to have a good cover. So I saw this cover and I was like, what is this? And it was this freaky cover of this green guy and this pink girl, and it says touched by a demon. And I said, I wonder if that's like touched by an angel. And I went to read this, and I'm like, man, this is really giving me like hench girl vibes. Like I'm kind of digging this. And as I'm scrolling down, created and drawn by Kristen Gudsnuk, I said, oh, Kristen's back. I said, Christian's back. Listen, she gave me those to put on the wall. She goes, that's for your show. She is a friend of mine. I've not talked to her in a while. I feel bad, but life happens. And here she is with a brand new book called Touched by a Demon. I said, Amy, you got to read this one as well, because this is a fresh book. This is a book you need to read.
Yes.
It is about a demon named Fron, and he was part of the angels that fought the devil. He was part of the angels that fought God during the Lucifer God Wars. Do you know anything about this?
Nope. Go on.
Okay.
I'm learning.
So, back before we were born, before the man and Eve and Steve were born, there was the universe, and everyone was happy and singing along, and there was his angel, and he was the greatest guitarist in the world. He was awesome. I say guitarist because that's how I've always been told he was, but he was just a magician, so he could play any instrument, I guess.
So wait.
But he was called like the Lord of Sound. Like
Okay.
his gift is music. Like that's what his job was. Like he's the man, the top choir man. Like his voice was like what you wanted to hear. And he was like, man, my voice is so powerful that I can control people. Why do I even need God? Like, God's stupid. I could be God because look at how many people commanded my voice. And so he said to God, God, I'm going to fight you and I'm going to be God because you stupid. And so then a big war happened and God took a third of the angels because a third of the angels decided, hey, we think that this
God is
angel-
also stupid.
his name was Lucifer. It was like, this guy's pretty cool. We want to hang out with him. This Lucifer guy seems really cool. And so they hang out with him and they join the rebellion. And so when they lose, God's like, you can't stay here anymore. You guys are bad. You're going to hell. And so he creates hell for the demons and the devil. Like that's their penance. That's where they're staying for eternity. And when the snake bites, the snake be biting people. When Adam and Eve eats the apple, she absorbs the sin that now all of us humans have now a connection to hell, that we can now go to hell because of this. That is Christian lore, and that's what this book is based upon. Because this devil, this demon is like, man, I made a poor decision. I thought Lucifer was cool, but he was a dick. Why am I still in it? Like, I don't want to do this. Like, this is bad.
And we see that in the book too. Like they're hanging out and he's like, hey, Lucifer. Lucifer's just like,
He's
that's
like,
it.
we used to be best buds. And so he's decided, you know what? Maybe because God's all about forgiveness, I can do good in this world and I'll be a good guy. And he basically does Touched by an Angel, but like run by demons.
They're demons who are trying to be good and do good.
But they're demons, so it's all goes bad, and it's like my life. Every time I try to do something good, it turns out bad. Like no matter how good, I'm like, man, this is gonna be awesome. Everyone's gonna love it. Everyone's like, that is the thing I hate the most. Fran and me, I get.
Yeah. You guys are like two peas in a pod, basically.
So these demons are now trying to, they open up like a call center and are like life coaches trying to help people.
I love this concept. I think it's just so many influencers being life coaches. Like, I love that this is something that could easily slip into. And
I know it's only 4 issues. So right now, the
third issue, yes, the penultimate issue, the third issue just came out this week.
So there's only one more left, but I can see this going because, like Touched by an Angel, like there can be new people that like he's a demon, like he can't die. Like we can just fast forward in time, like 10 years, 5 years. Like she's not like, no matter what happens in this book, I guess the only thing that could happen in the book is God's like, yo, Fran, you're a good guy. Why don't you come up to heaven? And then I guess the book would end. So I guess that could happen.
It could.
But it also could just go on, and this is just kind of like a little teaser. We could do another volume. Because that's what this feels like.
I could see this coming back with another installment very soon. And honestly, with the amount of things happening, they're not going so great, so I don't really feel like they're at risk of God being like, hey, come on back.
Because everything they do turns terrible. The little demon girl, I forgot her name. Do you remember?
Zazu?
Yeah, Zazu. So Zazu is probably my favorite because she's in control of helping this dude. And she's like, Fran did a really bad job. I'm going to do better. So she gives this guy Adderall and weed
Yeah,
just to live on. And I'm like, Kristen, stop stalking me.
it's literally you.
That's all that's in my belly is just Adderall and
And
weed.
weed.
Like, that's all I do.
It you.
Like there was a scene where we have a custom in our household that if someone partakes, that we must also join them. And then it's like we can say, oh, we smoked with so and so. Like we did this with Nick Cage. Like we did this with
Jay and Silent Bob.
we did this with Jack Black. We did this with Jables and KG and Seth Rogen's. Didn't know I'd be doing it with the Kristen Gudsnuk book.
Nope.
Because I got to the part and I said, oh no, I have to stop. And you're like, why? I'm like, you're going to find out. And all of a sudden,
You just went, you'll know at the part. And I get there and the panel just says, weed, you always know how to make me feel better. And I went, oh, that's it. And you were like, are you ready? Flick.
It was beautiful. Because, like, I get that. You get into a moment and you're just like, fuck it. Whatever, man. You want me to take the blame for this?
Yeah.
Sure. Because what does blame even mean?
Yeah.
You're still going to blame me. We can blame Amy for this show being off the rails. But no matter how many times I say, Amy, this is your fault that we're now talking about cars being the reason that the man is innocent is your fault when it's actually my fault because I can't take responsibility for anything. Hey, Amy, why is my foot broke? It's your fault. You let me drive a car.
That was actually something you said shortly after that. I was like, shut it down. Not an option.
Why'd you even let me in a car? It was my driver's instructor's fault. His name was the Whale from 2 decades ago. I don't know what his name was. His name was the Whale.
It was Brendan Fraser. We didn't even know.
No, we called him the Whale because he would just like get into your car, and he was a large man. And apparently, like he would just like bring your seat all the way back, put the latch thing all the way back so he could fit in there, and then like judged you on everything in your car because he was leaning back. He'd be like, I see you have soda. You're gonna be drinking soda while you're in the car? And would like critique you. And from my understanding, if a girl had the Whale and she started lifting up her skirt, because girls wear their skirts to it, they would be able to pass easier. That was just a rumor, but that's what I heard.
Okay. How did we get here?
I don't know, but it's Amy's fault.
I'm gonna kick you in your cast.
So, I loved Touched by a Demon.
This is the first Kristen Gudsnuk that I've read, and holy shit, girl, we're the fucking same. You had me at the Hannibal Montanable shirt. That was, of course, getting referenced now that I've made you watch Hannibal.
I got that, but I thought maybe it was a Hannah Montana reference. So, like,
It's
I
both.
was going to ask you, like, does this have to do with Miley Cyrus?
No, I remember seeing, so this is like back to like 2013, like Tumblr speak when Hannibal had like just gotten canceled and like the community was reeling and I don't know. And somebody,
I was in the community. I just
Shut
realized
the
what
fuck
I
up.
said.
Community. But the series had just canceled and everybody was on like Tumblr trying to like revive the show, blah, blah, blah. But I don't know. I remember seeing somebody and calling Hannibal because, you know, he's a cannibal and he's also a practicing psychiatrist. He lives a double life, kind of like Hannah Montana. So somebody threw it out, Hannibal Montanable, and it stuck, and I think it's so fucking funny. So not only that, but like Kristen throwing in like signs in the workplace. There's a scene where they're in a graveyard because they have to bury some bodies, and they're just like, all it's just one of the headstones in the background just says like my self-worth or something like that.
Kristen Gudsnuk reminds me a lot of Matt Fraction in that way when it came to sex criminals. And even like Daniel Way's Deadpool, where you get this like internal monologue that's just insane.
Yeah.
But on top of that, everything you see means something.
Yep.
Like it's not just like we see a article about how his girl has died.
Yeah.
And you can read the
You can read the
entire
whole
art.
thing.
The whole thing is readable. Like they cut off like the last words of everything, but you can figure out what the article
Yeah.
states, and it's hilarious.
It's
And
great.
like the one thing I like about her is like I feel like she's very much like me. Like we got the story, but like why do people have names? Like what do names mean? And so like the place the guy works at, it's called Work Corpse. So like it's just a little things.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't matter what it's called, so we just call it Work Corpse.
Yeah, or just like in the break room, there was something about like an all-day workathon that you could sign up to do, and it's like, who would sign up for a workathon?
And it's just generic, like business deals.
Yup.
Like we have to get this client, and you're like, okay, I got him. What do we do? We sell things. What do we do? What do we sell? Things.
Synergy, all those like corporate words.
So I needed this book. I needed a good laugh, and I'm upset that I am joining this train so late.
I know, but at least in time for the final issue of this installment.
Let's talk about some more books that came out because Kevin Smith is back writing some comics. He is doing Bizzaro 0 Year. It is kind of like the origin stories of Bizzaro because I don't know a lot about Bizzaro, and I feel like a lot of people maybe don't know a lot about Bizzaro other than maybe the animated film, and
Yep.
Jason Aaron did a thing a couple of years ago. But like who is Bizzaro? And so we read this issue, and Jimmy Olsen and Perry White get zapped into the Bizzaro universe, and we experience what life is like in the Bizzaro world. And I gotta say, I'm very confused because I thought the Bizzaro world is everything is the opposite, and it seems like nobody really talks the opposite.
There was this one part where, like, yeah, I don't remember anybody talking backwards. It was really more like this guy created a whole world for himself.
Yeah, and I don't remember if that's how Bizzaro really began, but like, from my understanding, he's supposed to say, I hate you, and that means I love you.
Yep.
And he's going to say, I will save you. That means I will eat you. It's supposed to always be like the opposite, and I never ever get that feeling that it's the opposite here. So I don't know if maybe this is just part of the storytelling that's going to maybe explain why it's all backwards. But
Yeah.
like, 'cause it's just the first issue, but it threw me out, and I gotta say I didn't enjoy it that much. It just didn't feel like a Bizzaro book. It just really felt like a Jimmy Olsen adventure book. And I gotta say the adventures between Jimmy Olsen and Perry White were funny, but
Yes.
it kind of felt more of a Jay and Silent Bob kind of adventure than Perry White and Jimmy.
Yeah.
Like you could have substituted any people, any combo of people there, and it would have worked.
Agreed. I also thought that this would make sense because he is Bizarro Superman, but he was just drawn oddly, like slightly off-putting.
Well, he's supposed to be the opposite of Superman. So Superman has pale skin, or Superman has like white skin. He's gonna have pale skin.
Yeah.
Superman has straight teeth. He's gonna have crooked teeth. His jaws, like, it's supposed to be like disproportionate to him. Like,
Yeah.
Like green kryptonite doesn't affect him. Like, it's the opposite. I think it's black kryptonite that
Yep.
affects him. Yeah, because whatever one takes away it's this opposite. I don't go. But like I said, I've been reading it comics for a while, and I don't know that much about Bizzaro. So that's kind of where I'm just like, I don't know. I don't know if it's worth a pickup. Like, Touched by a Demon, I'm like, yes,
That's
go
a
pick it
hard-
up. Get it. You need it. Daredevil, I thought was great. You should read it. But this one, I was like, And then,
Which is shocking because you love Kevin Smith so much.
and that's why I don't like to read books before time. I read what you give me because I don't. The field's open for anyone. I am not. Here at Fresh to Death, we don't like to pick and choose. Like, oh man, this is Kevin Smith. I better make sure I say nice things about it. Like, Kevin knows that if he writes something awesome, like Quiver or Guardian Angel or Guardian Devil, I will stand by that and give him his props. But this one here, this was a miss for me. And I'm sorry, Kevin.
I agree with you, but I also feel that in general, first issues, you're just getting your footing. You're just telling everybody who's who. And even with something like Superman, you have to have some establishing before we can really get into the meat and potatoes of the actual story. So more to come on that one. I'm probably gonna give it a issue 2 look.
I'm going to because it's Kevin Smith.
Yep.
So I'm just going to do it for that reason. Like, Kevin Smith's getting my money regardless. You're just going to also get my criticisms as well. You
have my money. You're taking my criticism too. God damn it.
That's right. Also out this week, we have the Superman, Spider-Man, DC Marvel crossover event. A lot of it is the Spider-Man Superman crossover written by Mark Waid. And personally, I have certain feelings about Mark Waid. Like, if you look at some of our early episodes, he did an announcement with us and then immediately blocked me. And I don't know why. It's always bothered me. Like, what did I do? Like, I thought we were friends. I, specifically, found out about this book, wasn't going to say anything until it was posted. And then I did say something, and then you blocked me. I could have said something. And I didn't. So, you kind of betrayed me a little bit, and I feel dirty. So, that being said, I did not enjoy this book.
So, I took this personally, and fuck your book.
Yeah. That's my feelings.
I'm glad we're non-biased here.
But I did read it. But the story sucks. There's nothing there. Like, Spider-Man and Superman literally do nothing.
Yep.
It's literally garbage. So I feel justified in my reaction because it's garbage. The only I thought that was the whole book. And then I get to a couple pages in and I go, oh, there's other DC Marvel team ups. Okay. They had Superboy and Spider-Man numbers. That was whatever. Jonathan Kent and Ben Parker, I couldn't have cared less about. The Daily Bugle and the Daily Planet, I didn't care. I thought that was just stupid. I did like the Lois and Mary Jane story. I thought that was really well done. But the only story I liked was the Gail Simone Punisher Power Girl team up. And I was like, this is the only good story out of this book that's enjoyable. Because Power Girl goes on a date and her date doesn't show up. And Punisher is just the Punisher. And they end up doing something. And they're like, hey, do you want to go on a date since we both don't have dates? And he's like, sure. And it's funny. It's romantic. And it is literally the best thing about this book. It's great. There is a brand new Wonder Man book out, and I know what you're saying. Oh, yay. Maybe it'll help explain the TV series I watched. No, it's a different Wonder Man. This one's completely different. This is the one who's always been famous, and now he is going to be doing another TV work, and it seems like the same plot as Wonder Man, and I am kind of bored in it. It's kind of fun, but It's literally everything with Wonder Man, except instead of him hopping into his car and driving away, he flies away and everyone just knows he's Wonder Man.
I got bored with you just explaining what this book was.
That,
All right.
That was the book. I didn't like it. And then there's the Eternals. I do not like the Eternals, but there's a new comic out. I started reading it. And because I want to give all comics a shot, and I knew going in I don't like the Eternals, so I wasn't going to talk about it. But there's a certain scene I get to, and I'm like, ooh, this sounds familiar. And it goes, I am Icarus. I have protected your world from the shadow since before your people existed. So trust me when I tell you this power is this energy that is siphoned from my body. It must be destroyed. I'm like, you know what? The Eternals movie went too highbrow indie. They got Chloe
Zhao.
They got Chloe Zhao to do it, and she is an artiste of like turning, like, we're gonna really watch something beautiful or something ugly turns beautiful over time, and it's a very slow method piece. I think the Eternals needs the other side of indie, the Stephen Groo of the world. If you're not familiar with Stephen Groo, he is one of the most prolific. He's your favorite director's director.
Yeah, he's done over like 200 films.
And he's still yet to get an Oscar. There was a movie called The Insufferable Groo, and Jack Black's in it, so I ended up watching it. And one thing I will say is the Groo movies are free on Tubi and Prime, and I actually got stuck on it because I saw a live-action Yu-Gi-Oh movie. And I was like, what is this? And then I saw like a Jack Black movie with it. And I was like, what? And so I got into the world of Stephen Groo. And Stephen Groo is this indie guy. He films things fast and loose. And
no permits.
And he does what he wants. He puts you on a wig and says, this is who you are. And it's clearly a wig. And then he's like, you have to do an accent. And what you do in the accent, you make sure you stay in the voice of the character. And this is how you're going to sound the whole entire time that we are together. And I have a love-hate relationship with Stephen Groo. Like, there's parts I really love, and I feel like he's the next generation of filmmaking. And then I'm like, man, he's just lazy looking for a paycheck.
He's the Tommy Wiseau of our era.
He really is. But, like, he's been around as long as Tommy Wiseau.
I know.
I guess we're just waiting for the movie about him to come out of Stephen Groo.
Basically.
Starred by Elijah Wood.
I mean, that would be really great. They do have the
same energy, the same kind of finesse.
Buggy eyes.
I would say statute. Because his eyes only look like that because he's a little bit shorter.
Oh, the stature?
Yeah, that's all. The Eternals, if you love Eternals, this is fun. It's a fun Captain America teaming up with the Eternals during World War II. So another flashback thing. But it was all right. And then lastly, we have the Royals from Image that came out. And I was like, ooh, there's cards on the cover. And I'm like, playing cards? Were they gambling? This is cool. And it's about two brothers who go to casinos and betting places. And the one guy bets and the other guy just sits and drinks beer at a table where he can see what's going on. So either if it's like a live broadcast game, he'll sit at a bar, or if they're at a table somewhere, he will be somewhere where he can see. And him and his brother play, and he wins. And the brother always wins. How does he always win?
How?
They're telepathic.
What?
That's the story. There's not anything else. They're telepathic twins.
So this could have been a one shot.
I don't know how many issues it is, but it's more than one. And I don't know why. Like, telepathic card counters is like, at any time the casino feels your card counting, they're going to kick you out.
Yeah.
Like, you don't even have to be psychic. You
just need to do a little too well.
Like, I feel like sometimes when I help you and I'm like trying to count on my hands, that they're gonna think I'm card counting, not like actually counting. But like, I'm just trying to figure out, like, if she has a 5, how many until she busts if we're playing a number game?
Yeah, if we're playing blackjack.
Like, okay, well, clearly if you hit again, there's no chance of you going home. But Amy, and let's say it's a higher number, and I'm like, Amy, if you have to get like a 4 or lower to succeed in this. I don't think that's good odds, but that's just me. You feel what you want, girl. And that's how I've done it. I don't sit at the tables or anything because I know I'd have a hard time. But like, I don't understand why, like, it didn't get me in. There was no pull of why this is different from any other book I've read.
There was no hook to get you to come back.
Nothing. So the Royals, it gets the death treatment. I'm sorry. So with that, we talked a lot about comics. A lot of this went off the rails. It was a lot of fun.
There was a table delivery.
I know, how things happen. So with that, guys, I think that's everything, right?
Yeah, I think that's everything for this week.
So we'll see you guys next week. We have the beauty coming out on Tuesday. So make sure you have your notifications set. Make sure you like and subscribe so you can see all the stuff we have. Because the beauty's going to be Tuesday. We're talking about it. So if you haven't seen it, make sure you watch the beauty.
Catch up now. Hulu, Disney Plus.
Amy is going deep in it because she loved it. I had problems.
Find out what they are.
I want to go there.
I want to go to there.
I want to go to there.